morning, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. This is us, Fortunate Property Group. We have been doing this business since 6 years in Australia, and we've got 4 verticals: resi sales, which is like resale of a property, and then buyer agency. This is something to do with SMSF investment. Property management, like if you get a property, you have to get it managed by somebody. It's like a legal process which you have to follow. And off the plan, which most of the people like foreign investors, they have to do that because they cannot buy which is something established. Okay, point. We work across different states: NSW, Queensland, Victoria, ACT, South Australia, and Western Australia. It's a bit of a long presentation. I'll go through quickly. The properties in which a foreign investor can invest are house and land packages, townhouses, and apartments. They cannot invest in land, they cannot invest in ready-to-move-in property. Why invest in Australia? Strong and stable economy. Real estate market growth is tremendous. Practically, we have a growth of around 20% annual since the past 5 years, which is massive. Attractive rental yields, 4 to 6% is the rental yield in Australia, and I'm talking about a house. Education and lifestyle benefits, places like Melbourne, Sydney, Queensland, really, really good places to invest in. A lot of tourism, education, and mining, they are the backbones of Australian economy. Diversification of wealth, very important thing. In Australia, there is no pathway to residency through property investment. So this is only pure investment if you really want to grow your wealth. Second thing, this is structured through the government. Anybody who wants to invest in Australia has to go through a process of Foreign Investment Review Board, which is the initial step if you want to enter into the Australian market. There's a fee to it. We can discuss this in detail. This is the presentation. If anybody wants this presentation, please feel free to come to our booth and we'll be able to send you all these details. Strong Indian community. There are now more than 1 million people, Indians in Australia, and they're doing really, really good, respected a lot. Pathway to future opportunities. Owning an asset in Australia does help you, like in terms of business visa or education plans, but it does not guarantee a PR pathway. Where to invest in Australia? The biggest question, because now you're looking for growth and rental returns. This is Australia, 2.3 times bigger than the Indian land, but only 27 million people live in Australia. You see all these states, there are practically 6 states in Australia, and it is all being, everybody lives almost around the coast. To start from Brisbane, where the Olympics are coming in 2032, Sydney, great place, Opera House. Then we have Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth. These are the states, these are the cities where most of the people would invest. This is something I'll run through a little bit quickly. Why to invest in different states? This is something about NSW. Close to around $110 billion of investment is being planned over the next 10 years. So much of investment coming into the state, it is bound to grow. And the average price point in Sydney is now close to 2 mil. Different places, like they're getting up the light rail, they're getting the metro done. New airport is coming up in Sydney. This is like the areas near the Sydney, like Greater Sydney, Newcastle, and Wollongong. Now, because the houses are too costly in Sydney, people are moving to different regional areas as well. Queensland, one of the top performers in Australia. The growth is more than 20% since the past 5 years. I'm talking about capital appreciation of the property. So here, the Olympics are coming in 2032. The government is investing a lot of money in there because it's like a new venture between Southeast Queensland, that is Brisbane, Gold Coast, and Sunshine Coast. And they would be investing money in projects like military, defense, Air Force, trains, industrial parks, making like another CBD there. Brisbane is the main CBD. They're putting up another CBD like in the Southeast Corridor, and there's massive development there. We've sold more than 200 properties only in Queensland. As I've already told, 2032 Olympics. Key hotspots: Brisbane, Logan, Ipswich, Toowoomba, Sunshine Coast, Townsville. All the places where people buy properties are not more than 1 hour away from CBD. So it's easy to travel and easy to put on rent. Regarding rental, there's another thing. You can also get a rental guarantee on any property you invest in Australia for at least 5 years. It can be extended up to 10 years as well. Western Australia, another great hotspot to invest. Here the government has recently, like 3 weeks ago, invested close to like $20 billion for the development of shipyard manufacturing, like it is the naval shipyard manufacturing. And also they have a project which is worth $350 billion, which is called AUKUS, between Australia, US and UK. There's a partnership, and they would be making nuclear submarine there. So a lot of workers from abroad and a lot of development is happening in that place. The rental is highest in Western Australia. So if somebody wants to invest, this is also somewhere people should be looking at. Places like Port Hedland and Kiwania. These are really good places. I'll send you all this if somebody wants it. South Australia is the place, Port Adelaide, where the nuclear submarine project is coming up. That is something really massive happening there in South Australia. Victoria, Melbourne, a lot of students go there to study. Great city. And like the infrastructure is really good, expanding a lot, and the properties are a bit cheaper at the moment. If somebody wants to enter into the market and they do not want to spend that much, this is the place to be. You can easily get a house for like say around $700,000 in Victoria, in good places near the airport and all. So the price ticket is like around, let's say INR, it would be 3.5 crores. Regional places like Geelong, Ballarat, and Bendigo, they are also improving a lot. They are connecting it with the major city, and there are a lot of projects and hospitals coming into these areas. Tasmania, another new spot coming up to invest. It's like just beginning of it, and a lot of people are entering into the market because it's going to grow. Important process of buying property in Australia. To begin with, foreign resident can generally buy new dwellings, that is an apartment, townhouse, or independent house, in which nobody should have lived in. The second thing is, they can buy a vacant land, but they have to knock down, or they have to subdivide and construct it into houses, and then they can sell it. Established dwellings only for redevelopment, not if somebody is living into the property, they are not allowed to buy it. Before even entering into the market, you have to apply for FIRB approval. That's a fee to it. Like for a 1 million, it's close to, for a 1 million property, it's close to like $15,000. Once the government approves it, then only you can buy a property. Contract for sale. The process for buying a property in Australia would be, first you get an approval, then you find a property, then you go to a solicitor to check the legalities of it. Then after that you settle the property gets completed, you would need a building and pest inspector, you need the valuations. Then you would need, after the valuations are done, you would need somebody to manage your property, you would need insurances, and you would need tax depreciation. We help in all the process, each and every process, and it has to be done by a licensed professional. So we have everybody in our team. Also another thing, what are you going to pay extra when you are as a foreign national? 15,000 is the initial fee, and then you have to pay a surcharge of 8%, around 8% on the land stamp duty. So that's what you're going to pay. And how to apply for FIRB? Like there's a whole process, like that's the review board. You can go to the website, you can do yourselves, or we can connect you to a solicitor who would be able to help you. The charges are very minimal. So these are the documents you would require: personal details, property details, contract details, entity, like, and we can also connect you to an accountant if you want to know something about the taxation part of it. These are the fees. If you're buying a property from 1 to 1 million, 14,000 plus GST, that's the fee. It comes out to be like close to around $15,000. And most of the good properties would be in that price only if you're looking to invest. But if somebody wants to do development and go deep into it, then you can apply accordingly. Assessment process. Type of properties, again, it has to be new. Once the FIRB decision comes in, you have to buy a property within 12 months of it. So if you've got an approval, you have to buy a property. Otherwise, it gets wasted. You again have to reapply for it. That's it. This is from my side. Any questions? Anybody has a, yes, please? It's a double taxation if you buy property in Australia and you have some income. So you have to pay income tax in Australia. But it gets added to your income here in India. And once you file your returns, then you can claim that tax what you've already paid. But it generally happens, like suppose if the property is going and you're selling, it only happens in case of when you've sold the property. In routine, like every year when you're filing the return in Australia, your incoming is your rent, but there is a lot of outgoing as well. You have to pay tax in Australia, the CGT. That is, if you sell the property after 1 year, then you pay 50% tax on 50% of the gain. Like suppose selling price less the costing price, suppose it comes out to be, let's say, 1 million. So you pay tax only on 500,000. That's the rule out there. Capital gain tax, yeah. Any other questions? I think when we had a discussion, you can pay money to them in the Indian bank account, and then they can transfer the money to their Australian bank account. So Indian rules, like it's better to get confirmed with an accountant, but obviously parents can give money to their kids, and there's no tax on it. Even in Australia, that's right. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I knew what is a bit long. Yes, please. There is no migration opportunity in terms of property investment. That's a completely different scenario. Thank you. We are at booth A23. You're more than welcome to come to the place and we'll discuss it in length. Thank you.